Prepare yourself for 130 minutes of Par Season 5 Retrospective. Oh, yeah, it's a movie. Season 5. All the reviews combined into one. Let's not waste any time, man. Let's begin with that Season 5 premiere and see how Kane and Tommy and Ghost go on, big man.
It's season 5 premiere time. Welcome back to Par, folks. Welcome back to the show. Crazy last couple of episodes in season 4. Raina dying. Holy moly. Kanan, Tommy, and Co. working together for season 5. I'm strapping myself in. Are you, though? And season 4 was the highest rated season that I've gave so far in this show. So hopefully it continues its upward trend into the final 2 seasons. And I'm really looking forward to the spin-offs as well. That's what I like. See, when you tune into a show and you know, like, after it there's a few spin-offs, that's pretty good. Unless it's The Walking Dead, then you know that's pish. But we do kick off this season literally the same night as season 4 ended. Angela's having a bit of a panic attack figuring out here that, oh shit, that's why Tasha didn't want any of the police to know. Like, how stupid can you be? I think this is a bit dumb. Like, Angela, like, oh man, come on. Let me see this woman, like, I think she's like head of the FBI, like, notice her. And she was in Sons. She was the caretaker in Sons season 3, so she's noticed something going on here. Keisha then tells Tasha that I'll lie to protect you and your family. Tommy, Ghost, and Kanan are then walking down the street, and then Ghost is like, how the fuck can I trust you, Ghost? No, Ghost is like, how the fuck can I trust you, Kanan? And Kanan's like, you're the motherfucker that set me alight. I just want to make these motherfuckers burn. It's all about Dre. We're going after Dre. And it's like, I'm glad we got to see a scene like this, because, like, Ghost literally did try to burn him alive. Like, he did have that scene, obviously, where Ghost saved Tariq and, you know, Kanan helped. But again, I like seeing these scenes between these two, because you can't just put getting almost burnt alive and killed in a warehouse the one side troops. But anyway, let's move on to the next scene, where the animosity is still running wild between Ghost and Kanan, of course. Sax is then talking to the witness from the pilot of the show, but they want to keep Angela distant on this. Mac's like, well, you know what, we need a bit more proof about this than we're to take it any further. So, who knows? Angela then meets with Tasha, and essentially they agree for Angela to get rid of the evidence to the fact that the gun was registered to her, which where the bullet came from, the ballistics. So, I just don't like Angela. I don't, like, she genuinely thinks she's, like, a good cop. When, like, for the past 5 seasons, she's been dirty. Like, honestly, she tries to take the moral high ground on so many things. And there's one thing I hate in a TV show. It's actually, like, cops like this that think they're, like, so much better than everyone else. Like, honestly, Angela's just, like, the same as, like, anyone in the fucking, in the drug business, man. But, Dre's laying out a plan to essentially wipe out Kanan, Tommy, and Ghost. But the big man's not too happy that all 3 of them are coming for him. Then, like, the preparation for Lorena's funeral's underway. This businessman guy was really getting on my tits throughout this episode. He was like, we need to get Tariq to speak in all these cameras, and Tasha just wasn't having it, man. I don't blame him. But then I really enjoyed the next scene where basically Ghost goes through Tariq's like, yeah, big man, you didn't want Raina telling us you thought you could handle it. You're just a fucking kid. And he's like, no, I ain't. He's like, you're just a fucking boy. I thought Ghost was going to kill his own son, man. Honestly, thought it was pretty funny, to say the least. Tommy then finds out that the priest is dead for this guy on the street. And he's like, damn, not good. So then we get the next scene, which really enjoyed it. I like this whole, like, going after Dre thing, because it kind of seems like an all-out war situation. So essentially, I don't know. I'm not too sure what Kanan was. But he's always supposed to be just the getaway driver. I was going to say, could Kanan double cross Tommy and Ghost and be with Dre the whole time? But I really doubt it, because Dre sent 2 guys to kill him. But essentially, Tommy and Ghost go in, but Ghost notices like a cigarette drop, and then it's the ambush. They run away. They drop a few guys. In this episode, Kanan manages to save them, but Ghost gets shot. A really good action scene. It's good when, like, shit like this doesn't get overdone. Proctor gets a guy to patch him. I was like, I'm not even fucking sure who this guy is. Tasha's not happy with Ghost still getting shot and potentially leaving her to raise 2 kids by herself. So, yeah, not exactly ideal, damn it. Not ideal between these two. Tasha then goes down and says, well, why haven't you deleted it yet? It's like, because it could bring us all down. Tommy Ghost and Kenny come up with the plan of, well, how about we just wipe out Dre with some of Kanan's crew and also some of Teresa's crew, which he goes to meet them, so he's introduced to them. Essentially, the only reason he's listened to here or being talked to with any sort of respect is because his dad's Teresa. The main guy there wasn't too impressed, to be honest, but the Ray was like, yeah, I don't really trust him. I don't really trust him, buddy. I don't trust him. Then outside, he talks like these two like hired hitmen guys who are apparently the two baddest motherfuckers ever. And Tommy's like, you know what? I'll pay you 60K. And they're like, all right, we're listening. We're listening. Absolutely. Then the NYPD officer who's like looking in to Angela goes to Ray Ray's cousin's house and he finds Angela's card and he's like, hmm. So Angela did meet with Ray Ray, even though she clearly said she's never ever been in contact with him. But now it's time for Raina's funeral. I'd probably go as far as saying this is probably one of the better funerals that I've seen in TV. I think some of them are a bit lackluster, but some are really good. It's not the best one I've seen. Like Opie's and Sons of Anarchy is Sons of Anarchy, sorry, is definitely better than this. But Tommy showing up and then that business guy telling him to, oh, this is for immediate family only. Essentially, just oh, you're white. We don't want to taint the image for the cameras. Absolute fucking disgrace, man. Honestly, absolute disgrace. And I hope, you know what? I think Tommy's killed a lot of innocents in this show, and also people that deserve to get it. And he's a bad motherfucker. Some of them ain't justified, but if he killed this guy, it'd be justified. I hope he guts him like a fish. Tariq breaks down. He can't do it. He did overhear Tommy telling Ghost that it's in position on Dre, and then Tariq runs off during the speech and texts Dre to run. And at this point, Dre manages to outrun two of Kanan's crew. And then when he gets down to like the laundry room at the bottom, like during this, we're seeing this like in between shots of Raina's casket being carried. Dre manages to like get the upper hand on the two Italian guys that Tommy hired. And right, what I don't get about this, right? One of them dies, one of them just gets shot, but I mean, come on. They try and put a blanket over him while like they know he's probably still armed, and Dre manages to get away. Fucking ridiculous. Angela like finally manages to delete the cell, and then the lawyer guy that Tasha's cheating on Ghost with, even though I mean their fucking marriage is down the drain. It's like, it's alright, I'll lie for you, Tasha. And then out of nowhere, the episode ends with Dre confronting Ghost at Raina's grave and essentially tells him that you can't hit me anymore because if you do, the cartel will wipe out your family. But I thought they won't kill kids, so they're not going to kill Tariq or his daughter. I mean, I guess Tasha's off the books as well. So, yeah, Kanan gets a card, Tommy gets a card, and Ghost gets the card. So Dre is pretty much untouchable at this point. What I would say, is Dre really big enough to be like the main antagonist now going forward? To be honest, I've no real issue with it because he's kind of risen through the ranks. It's not like he's just went for like 2 episodes and then boom, he's like the main antagonist. He's risen through the ranks through working with Tommy or working with Ghost. So I actually like Dre as a character. I don't think he's like the baddest motherfucker. I think you can get way scarier antagonists or like, you know, mean guys. He is just like a generic guy for the hood, but hey, he's a decent character, threatens Ghost, and that's how our episode ends, guys. I'm going to give this episode an 8 out of 10. Season 5 starting very strong. But I've got a feeling with him telling these 3 to back off or else the cartel will kill them. I think Season 5 could be about to derail, so to speak. And before we start today's review, can I just say, the guy right in front of us right now, I absolutely despise him and I can't wait for Ghost to kill him. And I think that is going to be the way this season goes. Because this guy needs to go. Welcome back to Par. It is Season 5, Episode 2, and this is Damage Control. And not that awful tag team in WWE. No, it's an episode of Par. And this episode was alright. I feel like things are beginning to calm down a wee bit from like the chaos of the last few episodes. But we kick off in California. Once we unload this shit, I want to go see some fake California titties. We have to get drunk first, huh? You can't drink in fully nude bars here. How pish is that? So, obviously, Tommy's connections have landed in California. I think the ports are theirs because Tommy put the word up with the Jimenez cartel. But then, Jimenez cartel gun these 2 guys down. Will that have big repercussions later on? Of course it will. But yeah, I mean, pretty much murdered in cold blood. We cut back to the ghost house. Everyone is still pretty upset about Raida's death. Tasha's crying in her bedroom. Tariq comes in. He's like, you okay, Mom? She's like, no, I'm not okay. But meanwhile, we're trying to find out who the Connect is. Back in the FBI headquarters, we're like, what's going on here? who is this? Is Jimenez in town? And then they manage to realise that Jimenez is in town because they find out that a man, the woman, were spotted carrying a gun out. But they keep referring to them the Jimenez brothers. You think they would be aware that it's not? Like, it makes a bit of sense why Tommy wouldn't know, but I mean the FBI, you think, would know everything like that, wouldn't you? Tommy pulls up. Him and Kesha are talking about Raina when she was young. I remember that. Being picked as the godfather, all that shite. He's eating pancakes, eating pancakes. That's what it's gonna do. Kanan then meets with Tommy and Ghost, and they're talking about, right, what's the next move, Dre? Kanan doesn't fear the cartel card as like these two do. And then we're kind of discussing what we're going to do here, but then out of nowhere, Peter arrives, essentially threatens Tommy, I'm going to fucking kill you now. Tommy's like, no, I'll sort it out, I'll sort it out. I killed the Jimenez cartel. And then he's like, I don't even know who the fuck this guy is. He's talking about Kanan. Everybody keeps saying that about Kanan. But essentially, he drafts Ghost in. Ghost, Tommy, and Kanan are going to get rid of the Jimenez cartel. How long have they got? There wasn't exactly a time limit put on it, but I would suggest it is a time-sensitive issue at this current stage of the game. We then cut to the main man, the Jimenez man. He's riding some woman up against the mirror. There's a woman behind him. Dre's up here watching him. Just a weird scene, but it's just very Game of Thrones, this, isn't it? Like, this guy. But we'll get to it a bit later on, what happens here. But he asked Dre if he sorted the Toros problem. I have sorted it out, big man. Don't you worry about it. Don't you worry about it. But the whole problem is here, back in the FBI, Department of Justice. They are trying to bring Angel in at the same time, which some members can't really get on board with, and I don't really blame them. Then the councilman guy appears, starts talking to Ghost. He's like, oh, you need to get Tash on board to speak at this NYPD meeting. Ghost is like, no, I can't do it. But we'll go anyway. We'll show our faces. And I'm thinking, all right, that's nice. At least they'll show the face. I want it to batter this guy, man. I'm not gonna lie. Then the one half of the brothers, the godson of Vincent, obviously got shot last episode by Dre. He's still alive. Tommy and Sammy here arrive, and it's like, all right, we'll deal with you. We'll get you a doctor, but first we've got to meet with Vincent. Right, hold on. This guy's been shot. He's bleeding out. Looks paler than Tommy, which is quite hard, and they just left him here in this garage. It's almost like I think Sammy wanted this guy to die. But then it doesn't make much sense if he did. I don't understand what's in it for him, because he wants to cover for Tommy because he's Teresa's kid. So I don't understand that element of it, to be honest. So we'll have to wait and see. Tommy has a meet with Vincent, and things probably aren't going to be too good, but he's bleeding out. Mac confronts Proctor because Proctor's hearing's coming up to see if he can still be a lawyer. What's going to happen here? Who knows? Ghost, though, he says, we gotta head out, man. We'll see how it goes. But the Toros, they need to deal with a leadership problem, Dre, essentially. Some of his crew, the Specs, the other guy, drop a guy, but Dre isn't happy about it. And basically scolds him and says, we ain't working together. You work for me, motherfucker. So, yeah, Dre, the power's going to his head a wee bit. But we'll have to see where this goes, essentially. But, you know, it was a pretty neat drive-by, to be honest. We then have Kanan and Ghost talking. Kanan's like, yeah, Tyreek, he's a real G, man. You need to keep him on the streets. And Ghost's like, no, it's not for him. It's not for him. We can't allow him to do this. We cannot allow him to do this, man. It's impossible. Tommy then goes to visit Teresi. Teresi's like, you fucked up, kid. You gotta make this right. You tell Vincent the truth. And it's probably one of the first few times in this show we've seen Tommy like show a vulnerability side to anyone. Like maybe like the odd time with Holly, but like to an actual man who's like connected with criminal crime here. It was quite a good scene here between Teresi and Tommy. Him and his daddy. He's told to do. Proctor has his hearing. But then the lawyer appears and shafts him. So will Proctor get his license revoked? I wouldn't be surprised if he did. Turns out the godson of Vincent is now dead. The doctor's like, well, I get paid anyway. I just can't believe that they left this guy. Like, honestly. What was so pressing that Sammy couldn't be with this guy and wait on the doctor? Honestly, I don't get it. Genuinely do not get it. Tommy, right, albeit had to go see Teresi, but why couldn't Sammy have patched this guy up? It seriously makes no sense to me. But anyway, unless he wanted him dead. And at this point, things are going to hit the body. The books, big man. Ghost then goes to like an AA meeting, but he does not like it. Some guy explains how this drunkard run down their son and he got away with it. Will Ghost act on that? Who knows? Who knows how that's going to go down? To say the least. We then have Tommy visiting Vincent. We sit down, explains the truth to Vincent, but then lies like right at the end, saying that, here, don't worry about it, big man. The guy that killed them both, he's been dealt with. And then Vincent's like, oh, yeah, at least you told me the truth. Sammy, is he telling the truth? Yeah. Then as that guy walks away, Sammy punches Tommy twice. Don't you ever make me fucking lie for you again. You hear? I'm only protecting you because you're Teresa's kid. Tommy is getting in far too deep. Honestly. He's getting in far too deep. Then we have Dre meet with the new leader of the Toros and like, did you drop that guy? And the guy lies. He's like, yeah, I dropped that motherfucker, even though it was Dre's own crew. So automatically for the get-go, there's like zero trust here, to be honest, which is quite funny. Tariq kind of has a heart-to-heart with Tasha, saying, yeah, I know it's my fault for Nate Rayna's death. He's not fucking wrong, is he? Not wrong. Not wrong at all. Then to the scene that made me boil my blood. Well, the councilman guy for Queens is speaking, and he sees Tasha and Ghost, who Ghost said, right, we're not speaking, and he forced them to go up on stage, and Ghost is raging with him, and he calls him out afterwards, like, Tasha breaks down. It was a pretty sad scene. Obviously, he's like, we were all at fault, we were all at fault, we were all at fault, and I just don't get why Ghost is letting this guy live. Like, what does this guy need to live? I guess you could say he's a councilman, and if he dies, it's bad for business, sort of thing, but like, how many people have you killed and got away with it? So why can't you just add one more? Like, this guy's like treated your family like fucking dirt over the past couple of days, weeks, whatever, since Raina's death. And I just don't, honestly, and the way he like disrespected Tommy at the funeral, I am surprised. I mean, maybe you could say there's bigger fish to fry right now than this guy. But what Ghost does at the end of this episode tells me there's not, that he needs to let out this rage, so to speak. Then at the weird parallel incident at the end where Jimenez lets Dre fuck the woman he was screwing earlier, and then Dre's like, we'll just pretend we did, and she's like, no, we have to, because you'll end up smelling my pussy, and I was like, what in the fuck is going on here? So she bends over, Dre starts fucking her, Jimenez comes in and starts laughing, it's like, now it's your turn to watch, or my turn even. Then we end the episode with Ghost killing the drunkard that killed that guy's son at the AA meeting, and it's like, a bit of a weak ending, to be honest, but it was still an alright episode. I'll give it a 6 out of 10. Wasn't exactly spectacular, but it was alright, guys. And that's where we're going to leave it for Par, episode 2 of season 5. 6 out of 10. Leave your thoughts down below, and peace. Well, back, guys, to another episode of Par here, and it is episode 3 of season 5 that we are getting stuck in today here on the main channel. Fog Entertainment for your TV reviews and all that best shit. And we have got episode 3 of season 5, and it is, are we on the same team? Who's that referring to? Well, let's not waste any more time about it, and let's get stuck into this episode. It's a big rich town. Yeah, I just want to come to my own. Ghost, though, he's not doing too well. I mean, his beard is getting thicker. His beard is getting stronger. He's not shaving it. It's continuing to grow. I actually like the look. I think it's hardening him up, so to speak. But as he's about to leave an elevator, the NYPD guy arrives and he wants to question Tariq. And he's like, Tariq, son, someone saw you leaving before Raina was killed. He's like, yeah, I might have left the building, but I definitely went back in. Alright, so questions are being asked here. Could Tariq dig himself in a hole? Who knows, but Tariq's going to school up north. We then see Kanan, Tommy and Ghost sitting down. And they keep doing this gimmick where it's like, hey, Kanan, can I talk to Tommy for a second? Or Kanan, can I talk to Ghost for a second? Kanan's just listening in, hearing the whole conversation anyway. Now the new woman in NYPD, she speaks to him and is like, Angela Valdez, there could be a connection there. Absolutely. Absolutely. But the talk is here, which is mental, between Kanan, Tommy and Ghost, their next moves. In fact, it kind of feels like everything's just been put on hold, though, since the whole Jimenez cartel reveal, which I guess is fair enough. I had to slow the pace of this season down. Dre then meets with the Jimenez cartel, and obviously they've got a bit of a problem here, but Arturo has took charge of the Toros, man. Do you have control of your organization? And Dre's like goon, so to speak, learn here that holy shit, this guy's taking credit for the kill that we just did, and they're not too happy about it. But Kanan, thinks that maybe the guys beneath Dre are not liking some of the shit they're hearing. So he confronts like Dre's like number two guy that's within his wee crew. And he's like, maybe Dre could get some things here. Then we have Tate, businessman Tate, and Ghost with this woman. They're trying to obviously get her invested in this Raina project that's in Queens. Ghost gets absolutely played here for his unprofessionalism because he thinks he's going to win her over with a smooth talk, and in reality, he sleeps with her. But he thought that was his way of getting her to sign on the deal. And then Tate points out, he's like, nah, she just did that to prove how unprofessional you are. But no one gets me about that, right? So, say Ghost's like, no, I don't want to take the bottle up to the room. I want to sit right here. She wouldn't have signed the fucking deal anyway. So, he may as well get his hole. I don't blame Ghost. I don't blame James St. Patrick for doing what he did here. To me, it's a bit retarded. And then we get Mac meeting with Teresi, and it's just a bit weird here at this point that it looks like Teresi's going to turn rat in order to get out. The lines are always blurred on it, but that's just what we're going with. So the point at the fact that, yeah, you've been seeing Tommy, man, and then the point out is he your son? He's like, yeah, he's my son, and I did it because I knew you assholes would come calling and I'd get a deal to get out of here. But Teresi's fearing it as he's not ratting on the family, even though Tommy... But now it puts everything into question whether or not Tommy actually is his son. I'm gonna say that he is, right? But I couldn't believe that he would actually job out Tommy just to get out. I mean, I know he wants to see his sick wife, but I thought the relationship him and Tommy had was real. We have Tasha going to the AA meeting again. The parents of the murdered hit-and-run victim reveal that the guy that did it has been found dead. Tasha, obviously. I think Ghost did this, confronts him about it, and yeah, she tells Tommy later on to keep an eye on Ghost because he's going off the rails, and yeah, things aren't looking particularly good here for Ghost. He's beginning to drink, of course he went sober. Then we see Medina. Medina returns. It looks like he's going to be working a joint task force with Angela in order to bring down the Jimenez cartel. Of course, it's not the brothers anymore, it's the brother and sister. Keisha is then confronted by Tommy. I think Tommy's going to lean in for a kiss. She rejects him. Tommy's been done dirty. Then we got probably the best scene of the episode for me, where Tash is outside Tommy's apartment, and Karen arrives, and Karen threatens her. He's like, yeah, you like that shit, don't you? Being threatened. And know what, right? It's like a ticking time bomb. Well, like Ken, as great as I think the relationship with him and Ghost and Tommy is, I can accept it with Tommy. I do feel like it's almost forced though with Ghost. I get it, they've got a common enemy in Dre. I do understand that. But I just don't see how it's ever going to work. And Tasha obviously holding so much resentment towards him, and filling this back to Ghost as well. Not really going on. Then the three guys that were in the camp of the Toros member who went rogue are killed. Jimenez kills him, and Dre's watching on like, He keeps speaking, and Jimenez calls him a fucking douchebag. Then this higher up guy for the DIA, him and Angela, go on a meal talking, bang, bow, 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 getting Angela creaming her absolute panties there. It's like, where's this guy just came from all of a sudden? But I mean, I guess a bit later it makes a bit of sense. Proctor meets with Tommy. It just seems like Proctor having these completely random fucking meetings with these guys, but just a bit weird, man, you know what I mean? Just what is seriously going on here? Tommy's mum appears and kind of reiterates the fact that your daddy's no good. See him? He's not good, but can you give me a hit up, man? Can you give me a hit up? Probably not going to happen. Then the agent for the NYPD, she gets her whole investigation took off her, and Angela's just abusing her power to see, you're not allowed to look into me anymore, hen. Sort of deal. But then they figure out the whole fact that they aren't brothers. They're brother and sister, the cartel. Tate then confronts Ghost at... What does he call his Truth? That's it, Truth, the nightclub. I just don't like Tate. I know, someone commented, I think it was Young Ats, like he doesn't kill law enforcement. I mean, he killed that guy inside and Tommy killed Homeland Security. I'm sure he can let this one fucking slip, man. I cannot stand Tate. Honestly. Seriously, cannot. Ghost then tells Tommy not to let Kanan in on any of their deals back inside with Truth or whatever. But of course, earlier this episode, we did have Kaden, Robin, Dre, and co. I can't remember the guy's name, the second in command guy. There's just so many people going on this show at the minute. But Kenan robs them, steals like $250,000 from them, and then gives it to Tommy in order to get started up in the business. And we never really, this doesn't really go anywhere though. Like these two just drink and that's it. Tariq finally reveals to Tasha though that he did see Raina get killed and that's him dropped off at his school. So will we see Tariq again? I'm going to say by the end of the season we will. And Teresi is freed at last, and he's like, got to make up for some lost time. So him and Tommy drive off. It was good seeing Teresi get out, but the fact he's ratting on Tommy doesn't really sit well with me. But anyway, guys, that is it for Par. I'm going to give this one a 7 out of 10. I think it was a bit better than the last episode. Up next is Second Chances, but until then, peace.
Many men wish death upon me, and I'm gonna take your life away. Many men. Anyway, guys, we're back with another review of Par. It is season 5, episode 4, and we have got Second Chances. And boom, we're straight into the heat of it. We kick off the episode with Tommy, Ghost, and Kaden meeting. And again, we've just got this another scenario where Ghost is like, I want to talk with Tommy in private. You know, there's a lot about Teresi. He's like, why didn't you tell me, man? Why didn't you tell me Teresi's out? He's like, I just found out he's out, man. All this beef and Kaden over here says and thinks he can use it to his advantage. And then, after Tommy drives off, Kanan says to Ghost, why don't we just take out Teresi? And it's like, and Ghost thought about it, he's like, nah, there's no way Tommy wouldn't fight. I just think loyalty is out the window. I can understand why there's no loyalty really like with Kanan. I guess like they've all got the same objective, which is Dre. But at the same time, like Ghost is like willing to throw Tommy under the bus here, which is a bit mental. But the FBI were beginning to close down on the Jimenez cartel, on the Jimenez brothers. And it's good seeing Medina back. I like Medina. I really like Medina. But they feel like they can talk to Arturo, who of course is the leader of the Jabronis. And that's how they're going to get him. But is it going to go down that way? We'll have to wait and see. But then go for a bit of a history lesson with Teresi, and Tommy explains the history of his family and how his dad died when he was, what I believe, 38. And this is their graves, and he's like, I made sure with my first money I managed to build them here. He was 38. Francesco Teresi, born in 1922 and died in 1960. Probably served during the World War as well, World War Two. But a good scene with these two bonding, but Tommy's not really suspicious or anything. But we're seeing more and more Dre is feeling a wee bit, not self-conscious, but he's feeling a wee bit nervous with him and his cartel and all that shite. He's getting threatened left, right, and centre. Ghost arrives. Him and Tasha start slabbering at each other, and it's just like a blame game about who's betraying who. It really is, man. And like, not who's betraying who, but like who's taking Raina's death the worst and whose fault it was. It's honestly embarrassing. Teresi receives a warm welcome home from Vincent. It just seemed weak. He gave us like really good speech, and Tommy's just sitting there. It's like, what's going on there? What is going on? But we've got all these meetings with Ghost. He goes up on the stage because Tasha refused to go for the wee speech, so he has to do it. And as he's doing the speech, he notices Raina. He freaked out. He had a moment, and now he's drinking. Ghost is drinking a hell of a lot, man. And then businessman Tate decides, well, you know what? I want a new face on this project. I want Dre, which of course they kind of planted the seeds for this back in the previous season. But now, damn, Dre's making his moves. And now he could be a part of the team, which obviously is not going to sit well with Ghost. And then Tasha's mum's talking to her. I didn't really care about this. But then Proctor's estranged ex-girlfriend, I think it might actually be, it's not his ex-wife, it might be, but it looks like she's going to press for custody. I don't really care about this. I think they are building up the fact that Proctor might be going away and she might get custody of his daughter, but is that really that much of a big deal? But of course Tommy, he needs to wipe out the Jimenez cartel, but he's not telling Teresi that he needs to do that, because if he told Teresi to do that, he'd just go and tell Mac. But then Arturo gives up the fact that he didn't kill the leader, and he's like, well, I'll tell you where they're meeting the cartel today. Proctor then has like an emergency meeting with Ghost, and then Ghost kind of confronts him about how the fuck you knew about Teresi, all this shit, you're not telling me anything. Ghost is like, they're only playing for one team, Proctor, it's yourself. You don't care about me or Tommy. But then Proctor points out, it's like, when you get shot, I helped you guys. I think it's about, I think the way they treat Proctor's unfair now. Oh, admittedly, Proctor's got all the details to bring them down, but my God, it's not going according to plan. We then get the airport meet. Um, so yeah, the 60k that was hoovered out of the club by the Jimenez gets paid back. It's all good. Dre leaves, and then as Tommy's watching in the airport, the FBI arrive, and the Jimenez cartel get arrested. And it's like, yeah, things are going according to plan. Then Steve, who Angela slept with, arrives with the DEA, but turns out he's no DEA. He's very much higher up than that. And he gets the cartel off, but the woman wants her brother dead. And it's like, all these revelating stories. And there's something weird about her. One half of the cartel hermanos, the Jimenez hermanos, she's, how do you say it? Pretty hot. But Steve says he doesn't job Angela out and that this is just what has to be done, to be honest. But we're seeing the cartel almost fold from within. But then Angela sees that they've reactivated the remote tracker on Thomas Egan, and it's from Mac and Sack. So damn, she talks to her boss. It's confronted here, and she's like, "Well, why wasn't I know about this?" But then the woman's like, "We've got nothing, so I'll let you back on the case, Angela." Completely blown. This fucking wide open Proctor then gets his entire apartment searched, and of course it's for the Homeland Security agent. Not good. And it's like, with all this going down, and now this is when the head woman decides to like let Angela into the loop. Honestly, man, ridiculous, fucking ridiculous. We've got more Ghost and Reyna arguing. Reyna, she's dead. I mean, Ghost and Tasha arguing. Looks like Ghost is finally going to move out of the house. And then Tommy gets a text message for Kanan. Kanan's like, right, let's make a plan for these Jimenez motherfuckers. Kanan's setting up his own plan though, and how's this going to go down? Because we're not really too sure how it's going to go down. It's like, is Kanan really going to risk this? This would be pretty insane, but he does decide to risk it. He pays off his two guys to fire blanks outside Vincent's. So Vincent actually takes a real bullet because they decide to load it with real bullets. And then, yeah, Kanan ends up saving them and dropping the two guys, saving Tommy, Sammy, and Vincent. Teresi wasn't there. And then Ghost for him, he meets Dre in the boardroom. Dre is now a part of the team, and it was a very funny dynamic seeing these two next to each other. And obviously, the disdain is definitely more from Ghost's side rather than Dre, so that was interesting. Kanan then sits down with Vincent and lets slip that, well, I'll tell you what, big man, the beef with Dre ain't settled. Your guys died in Fane and Tommy lied to you. But I understand why Kanan's lying, right? But would Vincent not want a more reputable source than this? About like two members of his own crew lying and Tommy lying? Apparently not. Teresi then finally tells Connie that he has turned rat, but not in his crew. So that Tommy bastard, damn it. Tommy then shows up and Tommy's like, da 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 da. And then Teresi's like, son, it's okay. Is Tommy actually Teresi's son? I guess that's what's going to be the real thing that's left. Then the NYPD woman that's harassing Angela, thinking she's at the helm of something. Of course, Angela is very corrupt. Is putting her wee bulletin board together, so she looks like she's going to cause a bit of chaos, damn it. Some chaos is going to happen. And then Ghost meets with Angela. And it looks like we're reminiscing about old times. It's like, seriously? Are we really going back down the route of Ghost and Angela? I think we can stay away from that. But this episode was alright. I kind of feel like season 5 is... We're just going to drag this whole Dre thing out. And then I don't know what season 6 is actually going to be. I think there's going to be a big betrayal at the end of season 5. And then I'll set up season 6. But I would be shocked if Dre... Well, maybe not shocked, but I would be flabbergasted if Dre... Or at least, like, you know, some of the Jimenez cartel guys are not dead by the end of this season, guys. But I'm going to give this episode a 7 out of 10. But until next time, peace.
Happy birthday for the twins, except for one of them, because she's dead. Welcome back to Par. It is season 5, episode 5. I do like 55. Oh. And we do have Par, guys. And this one is called Happy Birthday. It is the twins' birthday. It's the first one without Reyna, though. R.I.P. And we kick off the episode with Tommy and Sammy in Vincent's bar with Teresi. Sammy and Teresi and Tommy are then confronted by Vincent. And then things rather go from 0 to 100 real fast, where Vincent gives Teresi a gun and he says, pick between them. So Sammy and Tommy are on their knees and he's like, sorry. He looks like he's going to kill Tommy, but then he goes to kill Sammy, but it turns out there was no bullets in the gun. Sammy, obviously pissed at both of them, but he's more having a go at Tommy. He's like, I can't believe it. And like, just like that, their ties with the Italians have been absolutely cut out, which is quite sad, to be honest. But will this lead anywhere? Will this go anywhere? I guess we'll have to wait and see. But Ghost then brings Tariq back for his school. I mean, it's just weird because like he was literally just at the school, wasn't he? We see Tasha spending a bit more time with Big Silver. Big Silver, how's this going to go down? To say the least. Teresi then talks to Sammy. He's like, I knew the gun was light. But the thing is, like, if he tried to kill Tommy, all the trust, right, between Teresi and Tommy would have been out the window, and yeah, it would have been absolutely good night. And the only reason I think he did it was because he knew he was making a deal on Tommy, to be honest. We then have Ken and Tommy and Ghost discussing shit at the apartment, and again, it's not that it's filler, but there's just not an awful lot going on. Ghost explaining that he can't really kill Dre because he's on this fucking, building better for Queens project. Honestly, we're supposed to be original gangsters here, OG gangsters, and you can't kill this guy because of that, which I just find fucking completely and absolutely surreal. Then we have a sit down with Simon, Ghost, and Tate and Dre. It's just a bit awkward, and looks like Dre's going to be made top man, and Ghost ain't too happy. Right, Kennan's arc this episode is just fucking weird. So he meets this like junkie guy who can like speak all these different languages, and essentially he uses this guy to kill a bunch of Italians, a bunch of Locos Toros. All these guys are rivals to their own crew. A bit mental. Ghost then meets with Angela in a shoe shop. She's like, we can't keep doing this. He's like, I just thought it'd be alright because, it's Raina's birthday. And she's like, oh shit, Ghost, I'm so sorry, I didn't know. Right, he's whipping out the Raina card, and it's her birthday here. Like, it's alright. I mean, this relationship should be done, dead and buried. It's not though. I mean, for whatever reason, it's not. That's not really up for me to decide. But to be honest, I don't really understand what we're doing here with these two. Does Ghost just think because Raina died, Angela's just going to jump back into bed with him? But then a quote in the next episode from Tasha makes me think that maybe things will be alright between these two. So it'll be interesting to see how it's going to go down, to be honest. But we'll have to wait and see. We will have to wait and see. But we'll go. I tell you what, see if Ghost and Angela get back together, man. I just don't want them to get back together. I really don't. How's this show going to end? That's the intriguing thing for me. Of course, you've got all these different spin-offs and how they're going to be able to tie it up. We'll have to wait and see. I'm looking forward to wrapping this show up. Not because I want it to end, but because how's it going to go? Teresi's then eating Doritos. He meets with Mac and Sax. He doesn't really have much for them, but he might have something for them by the end of the episode. Angela rings Proctor. Looks like all these things are going to go down. But then, Ghost pulls a few strings and gets Dre off the big Carol Bennett club because it would be a conflict of interest. So Ghost using the last day's weight that he's got left. But then the craziest thing out of nowhere is Angela and Proctor essentially set up Tommy, which is absolutely mental. Angela wants Tommy to turn. She wants Tommy to turn and give up the Jimenez cartel. I know you were at the airport yesterday, Tommy. We've had a tracker on your car, and I'm surprised Tommy wasn't more pissed at Proctor for this. He was like not even annoyed, which I thought was quite mental, to be honest. Right, Ghost then is at his meeting here. You've got Tate, Dre, and Simon. Ghost is just getting drunk. The sad thing is though, we've got Tariq's birthday party. Tommy's there, Kesh is there, Ghost ain't there. And you know what, it's a pretty dick move for Ghost not to be here, but the birthday party was alright. Tommy then goes out a drive with Tariq and he confronts him. He's like, you're the motherfucker that warned Dre. You're a rat. You're a snitch. He's like, and then Tariq explains his actions. Like, I had to get the guy who killed Ray. And he's like, so that's it. You're a lone wolf. You go by yourself. Tommy almost, almost was like cutting ties here with Tariq in a way. I mean, I wouldn't say they're necessarily done. Silva then turns up with a delivery. Hey, I brought some stuff. But then the NYPD arrive and they're like, Tasha, you're under the gun. But then the NYPD get scared shitless. They get sent home by Big John Silvertongue Silverman. I mean, the dialogue between Kanan and this weird druggy guy was funny. Kanan spares him, gives him the gun, tells him to sell it for money. Like, I could see this guy, for some reason, coming back and biting Kanan in the ass. I don't know how, but I could see it, to be honest. Ghost is continuing to drink. Then the pastor comes over to him and he's like, sorry for your loss, son. He's like, I'm not your son, nigga. It's like, holy fuck. This Ghost gonna go absolutely ballistic here. Tate comes over. And he's just absolutely bad mouthing Ghost. He's like, Dre is the man. He's a much better man than you all. And Ghost is drunk. His face looks like is he drunk? Ghost, like the whatever not animation, but whatever graphics they use, like his jaw looked so big in one of like the shots. It was so funny. But then he starts grabbing Tate and choking him out in front of everybody. Everyone's just looking at Ghost. And then there was a cake. Or of course arriving for Tariq. They open it. When Tasha ordered it earlier, she's like, no, we just need one this year. And the guy didn't know. And it says, happy birthday, Raina. And then her mum goes, oh, you got Raina on it. Well, no fucking shit, right? She's dead. What help is Tasha's mum here, honestly, by saying this? I hope she fucking dies. What use is she in this show? Honestly, man. Coming out with a line, like, pointing at the fucking... No wonder Tasha lost it. It was like, I fucking know. No wonder. Tariq confronts Tasha, says, I think you blame me for Raina's death. And I was like, well, that'd be fair enough. He's like, I think you wish it was me that was dead and not her. Potentially. Dre, though, his organisation's kind of fallen apart to a degree. But not completely out the window. Ghost finally arrives home and him and Tariq get into a bit of a shouting match. He's like, you need to tell me the truth. Raina, yeah, she knew you were a fucking cheater and a drug dealer. He's like, let me at him. He's trying to kill him. But Ghost is like, alright, I'll probably need to go to sleep here, to be honest. Tracy and Tommy talk. Tracy's like, I can't believe I did all that time for those bastards. He's like, well, I could have just got it on by ratting. And Tommy's like, what, you would have rat it? And he's like, no. He's like, it's just mostly goes to show you how much this is a complete and utter fucking joke. Diego then confronts Dre and he's like, we need to wipe out all the competition. But my sister can't know about it, big man. Tommy then confronts Angela, and it looks like these two are going to work a deal. Teresi then meets with Sack, and Mac is like, Tommy is laundering his money and Ghost is clubs. So damn, that's pretty much what they needed to know for the get-go. And then Ghost arrives at the church. They meet with the pastor. He's like, I'm a changed man. I need to go back to what I was, father. He then arrives at Angela's apartment, and I'm thinking, damn, are these two going to get back together? But that is it, guys, for Happy Birthday. I don't know. Season 5 just seems weird to me. It almost seems like we are lost. I don't even know what we're lost in. It just feels weird. I can't put my finger on it. It just doesn't feel as good as like season 4. Not that it's the worst season, but there's a lot going on. It started off really good with episode 1, but since then it's died down. I get it. It can't just be all out war, and I'd really have liked the dark turn that Ghost has taken. But anyway, guys, that's it for Happy Birthday. I'm going to give this a 6 out of 10. Till next time, peace. A changed man. Please call my name. It's Devon Dudley. No, it's not. It's Ghost St. Patrick. It's James St. Patrick. And is he a changed man? I just want to point out, right? Maybe not necessarily retract what I said, but I said this, I believe, at the end of season 4. I thought the way some people's reaction to Raina's death was a bit underwhelming, but with Ghost, it's like long-term booking, if that makes sense, and I really like the downfall of his character so far this season, so I'd like to take that back in terms of Ghost. I mean, again, you would expect something a bit more in the initial, aftermath of Raina's death. I did personally, but I like the way they've took it with Ghost's character. But we do begin this episode with Ghost and Angela. It's like old times. He's like, I'm sorry. He reveals that the only reason he stopped seeing her was to protect her life, and that feels so long ago. Honestly, it feels so long ago. So he sleeps on the couch, she sleeps on her bed. They wake up. These two are talking. Tasha then arrives, and then she's like, "What the fuck are you doing here, Ghost?" Tasha's like, "Whoa." Ghost is like, "What?" And then they're talking about the gun that killed Ray Ray. And then of course Ghost's like, "What the fuck?" And she knows about this. You always hear the disbelief though in Ghost's voice that this entire situation has been happening kind of behind his back, and how are we gonna fix this shit, man? It's absolutely crazy. Then the NYPD woman arrives, and at this point, it looks like everything's gonna come crashing down on Angela, and or whether it be this season or season 6, I feel like for the amount of corruption that's in this show, I feel like someone, either Ghost, Tasha, or Angela, has got to do jail time, like a lot of jail time, for me. Like that's how, like one of them gets life in jail. I don't think Ghost is going to get life in jail. I think Ghost is going to get Jost. I think Ghost is going to be killed at the end, or whatever. I think Angela almost suits life in jail more than maybe both of them will get sent to life in jail potentially. I think Angela, for how corrupt she's been, the fact that she's so high up and built her way up throughout this show, I think should go to jail. That's my personal opinion. But I guess we'll have to see and how that happens. Dre meets with him and his brother too, and these two are confiding in each other, and Dre's master plan though is to get the leader of the Toros to say that, it was you that's trying to plan this hit on Diego Jimenez. But how will that go later on in the episode? Not too well. Proctor then meets with Ghost. He's discussing the whole thing with Angela. Not too good there. Ghost then leaves a message for Tyreek, who does not want to even entertain it. Teresi's in eating a McDonald's with Tom, and he's like, "This shit tastes as good just like when I went in." Absolutely. But it's weird though. So this show's in 2018? Or this season, sorry. Or in this time period. It's like Teresi went in the early 90s. But the way it gets on, you'd almost feel like this guy went in the, I don't know, like fucking early 80s or something. Not that there's a massive difference. I mean, I guess it's like a decade, but it just shows you, like, this show, like, I'm so used to watching shows that are, like, outdated, maybe, so to speak, but Par's definitely in the recent era here. So how's this master plan going to go down with these two here? But obviously Tommy needs to sort his cartel shit out, but he's not telling Teresi shit. Tate then meets with Dre, and Dre's like, "I'm not too sure if I need this." Tate's like, "Yeah, well, you know what? Ghost is going to get you back on board." Then, out of nowhere, we've got we've got Dre and Ghost, and they're going to work together on this. And then we see later on the episode, right, that they're going to... Dre wants Ghost to kill the main man, Diego Jimenez, and I'm just like, what? What is going on here? What is going on? Absolutely insane. I'll tell you what, I've got a random pair in my leg, and I'm like, what? Fucking hell, what? Somebody shot me, damn it. Somebody shot me. Somebody shot me. But yeah, he wants Diego Jimenez killed. So this is all going down here. Tommy and Ghost are just not really ever getting on the same page. It just seems like they're butting heads constantly. And then the whole audit that's going into like Ghost and Tommy's business. Teresi's pissed, so he goes to Mac and Sax, where he's like, "You two need to stop doing this. I'm getting close. But you two are fucking ruining this for me, man. You two are absolutely ruining this for me." Proctor then has a meet with his cousin Benny. I've seen this bald guy before, not quite sure what in. Mac confronts him. Mac twisting the knife into Proctor, also twisting the knife into Proctor's ex-wife. Will they be able to get these guys? You never really know. You never know what's going on. But then Teresi reveals to Tommy the new business that they're going to do. Since they've been put out of the Italians, they're going to smuggle the stuff into prisons in the ramen. Like they did. With him, if you remember, that's how he got his phone back at was it start of this season or last season? Might have been last season, actually. For Big Teresi. But no! Tasha is under the thumb of the NYPD. It's a Hail Mary. It is Patrick Mahomes throwing a 100-yard pass here. And they're trying to get Tasha to admit to this murder. They're trying to make it look like that Angela and Ghost are trying to pin it all on Tasha, so, she goes down for it and those two live their happy, free life. But it's not exactly happening like that. But she doesn't give up Ghost, but she's very pissed about it. Meanwhile, Kenan's out with Tyreek. Tyreek reveals that he's the one that killed Ray Ray. Ghost is, not Ghost. Kenan's like, "Holy shit, you dropped him? Good, little man. You did good." So yeah, this scene with the beat up the white guy I mean, Kenan beats him up. Tariq just looks at him. Doesn't really. So it's a weird scene. And then he fakes having asthma so they get into the school. Whoop-de-doo. But yeah, then we have Dre and Ghost. And let me tell you who Ghost wants dead a part of this deal. Jason Midrich. Of course, Tommy's connect. So how are both these guys going to die? I can see Dre fucking up the hit, but I can't actually see Ghost killing Jimenez. He's a slappy guy. Proctor tries to plant the drugs on his ex-wife, but she's like, no, I'm not happy. And it's like, damn, Proctor's going to probably get shafted here. Then we get Angela and Ghost in the apartment talking while Tash is getting interrogated, and Tash is putting all of through her head that maybe they are setting me up. But like I said, she doesn't give them up. Then Sammy and Teresi meet with Tommy, going to do a smuggling gimmick. Tommy kind of being played like a fiddle here. Surely he must think there's something wrong with like the way Sammy's willing to team up with him now, which is just a bit weird. But yeah, then we get the Jimenez. They burn alive the bad Toros after he gave it up. Dre did promise him that he'd keep him alive, but he didn't. He gets set alive. Absolutely brutal. Gets sucked and hit with all the bottles and then burnt to a crisp, man. Holy shit, damn it. Sax is trying to figure out something here. And then they find the document that Tasha hid. No, Angela hid for Tasha about Tasha's gun being the bullet at the crime scene. Angela's the one that found it. So holy moly. Surely this net has got to come crashing down on all these people at once. Tasha then returns to her house. It's like, you two are living kosherly here. And he's like, I'm just going to go. The Silverman goes like, why the hell would you go to Silverman? He's like, cause he loves me more than you ever did. Angela's like, I'm gonna leave. And Natasha's like, no, sorry, you two stay, I'm leaving. And that's how the episode ends. I really enjoyed this episode. I'm gonna give it an 8 out of 10. I feel like things are beginning to pick up. I think maybe underrated the last episode, but yeah, let's see these arrests happen, baby. But anyway, 8 out of 10. Till then, peace. Fog Entertainment back again with another par review. We're looking at Season 5, Episode 7, and we have got the devil inside as we head towards the latter episodes of this season. And we kick off the episode essentially with a lot of chaos. We've got Tasha going to Silver. It's like, you need to do this. And he's like, no, you've lied to me. You've lied to me. I can't lie for you. And she's like, it wasn't Ghost who killed Ray Ray. It was Tariq. So is Silver going to come through this? I don't think so. Ghost doesn't, thinks he's going to do it. Either him and Angela are drinking red wine. It's almost like we're back to the old times here. That's what it feels like here with Ghost and Angela, to be honest. And then we get a sex scene. We've got Tasha and Silver and Angela and Ghost. We are truly back to old times. And again, this, I like this show, right? Love. Part of me wants to love it, but then there's things that I just. Maybe by the end of it I will. Maybe when I look back on it, I'll be like, yeah, I love this show. But for me, it's like a 7.5 out of 10. Almost an 8. And the averages are getting there, definitely. But I think they've kind of cut it out, right? But seeing the earlier seasons, see the sex scenes, it was just overload. Here, I like getting it as much as the next guy, but come on. What are we doing here? We're racing our ping pong. Mac and Sack go to Teresi's door. Corey's there. They're like, hey, Mrs. Teresi. She's like, go fuck yourself. Teresi then has a sit down with Teresi. It's like, do you really want to give up the only family you'll have left after I'm gone? And you know what? That's a very true statement. Donovan then goes to Angela and warns her, you stay away from James St. Patrick. So kind of giving her a final warning. And then we have Kanan, Ghost, and Tommy meeting with the Sir, and they're meeting with the Sir, Peter. I believe it's Peter. So this guy, you need to kill Jimenez. You gave me the money, but now you need to kill Jimenez. Proctor then meets with Sax, and Sax is like, I'll work on getting your deal back, big man, so don't you worry about it. Your wee lawyer deal. We've got more Tasha and Ghost arguing at each other. Ghost learns about Silver here a bit more, and he's like, I don't know if this is actually going to slide here, so I might need to deal with something. And then he's also running into a bit more beef with Tate, who seems to be going completely balls deep with Dre rather than Ghost, and Ghost cannot believe that this has happened. Angela, though, speaks to Steve and kind of figures out where his division is, and now, because she knows that Mac and Sax are onto her, she tries to force Mac out onto this job, which again I just don't think was ever really going to work. Angela returns home. Tommy's there. He's asking a lot of questions. What's going to happen here? Oh ho! Then we've got Tommy, Sammy, and Teresi in the house. His mum phones him as Teresi's outside the car getting like smokes, and his mum's like, "Is that fucking Tony?" And honestly, I can't stand Kate. So much prefer Bonnie and Teresi. Like, Teresi's a bad motherfucker, like, don't get me wrong. But, damn, it's fucking annoying. They do meet with this guy, though. They connect inside. It's been selling the ramen, and the phones in the ramen. And Teresi just fucking drills him through his kneecap and drills it right through his skull, which I thought was a brutal death. But, you know, like, the guy is paying them light. And how did he think putting a bit of extra weight in a briefcase was going to work? Like, even if they didn't realise, like, once they opened it up, they would fucking realise. This to me felt a bit forced in the sense of, alright, well, let's show a scene where, like, Teresi's old school as he used to be, you know, doing these tactics. That's honestly what it felt like to me, to be honest, and it was just stupidity for this guy in the slightest. It really, really was. But Tariq, what's going to happen with Tariq? We then have a family meal with Bonnie, Tony, and Tommy, and that's when Kate shows up, and Tony and Tommy have to drag her out of there. It was like a wee domestic, so I like that. I definitely like that. Ghost then confronts Silver's like, you really got what it takes to lie for my family. He also confronts him about, here, I found that missing earring. Remember at the start of this season, mate, when I found that earring at your house? Aye, that big man, it was my wife. Or I don't bring you over for adultery, motherfucker. So yeah, did the commission. So it looks like Tommy and Kesha are back on track, and he told Bonnie and Tony that, here, I've got a wife. I wanted to happen like this. Dre's trying to set this up now where Ghost is going to kill Diego Jimenez tonight, but then Ghost sets up with Kanan that he wants Kanan to drop Jimenez tonight. So all this crazy shit going down. Absolutely mental. But then the guy who's like the number 2 essentially, Dre, like tells Kanan all this information. He's kind of like, wonder what the fuck's going on here. Big Peter the Slovak, man. Peter the Slovak. Also, we've got Ghost learning for like the guy in the Queen's Project that apparently Tate has been shimming money off the top of the Queen's Project and get paying this guy with it. So obviously he's recorded that and he's going to use it against Tate. Lovely jubbly. Mac and Sax then confront Teresi, who tells them about the hit inside. By God. The hit inside, of course. Ghost killing the US Marshal inside. I just don't know how Teresi... I mean, he'd have to testify, and it would be his word against it, like. So it'd be brutal. Then we see Kaden and Tariq playing chess in this episode. They're getting a wee bit closer. Tommy then confronts Angela again in a car, and Angela almost wanting here fucking Tony to kill John Mack. It's like, she does back out of it, right? But Angela's turned that bad. How could you, like, why am I supposed to root for her as, like, one of the good guys? At least, like, Tommy and Ghost have been bad from the get-go. I know Ghost is trying to feel legitimate terms, but I like rooting for the bad guys. See these people who think they're good, but they're actually bad? I don't really like rooting for them, to be honest. And I think that's going to be a bit of a problem, yo. But yeah, Tasha meets with Angela. It's all good, damn it. It's all good. Going according to plan. Tasha then returns home to Silver's house. And Silver's gone. He's left a note. I can't do it, Sasha. So he's jobbed out. Tasha even. Ghost then gives Tate the leverage, the recording. And then we get like the best part of this episode easily. So essentially, obviously, Kanan now busts into the room as Diego and this big fat security guard think they're getting some BBWs. They're not getting some BBWs. All they're getting is 2 9mm right to their fucking skull. Dead. Kanan kills Diego Jimenez and his wee fat security guard. Mental. Insane. Kanan like a boss. Dropping this now, and I'm sitting there thinking at this point, big Kanan, what a guy, man. This guy is going to run the rest of this season. He's going to run season 6, and then the next episode happened. Anyway, before we get to that, we have to end this episode, don't we? But Kanan drops these guys, delivers it to big Peter, and there's Diego Jimenez's head, and he's like, we need to get out of here. There's a guy coming for your head, damn it, from the Jimenez cartel. Dre arrives, like, holy shit, what in the fuck is going on here? It's all went according to plan. Tasha then arrives at Angela's house and tells him about Silver splitting. The Ghost is like, nah, well, you're not taking the fall for this, Tasha. I'm taking the fall for my family. And that ends the episode. Diego Jimenez is dead. A lot of chaos, a lot of carnage. I'm going to give it a 7 out of 10. We're building towards that season finale. And I honestly, I'm looking forward to talking about the next episode because I can't believe it happened. Cannot believe it happened, guys. But anyway, 7 out of 10.
R.I.P. Kanan Stark, and what an episode we have got to unravel. Welcome back, guys, to Fog Entertainment. This one is called A Friend of the Family. Well, Kanan, he kind of was a friend of the family, but not anymore. We have got Ghost, Tasha, and Angela discussing who do we pin this murder on. They come up with the Dre solution, so Ghost leaves, and then Tasha decides to put it on Kanan. And I'm thinking, you bitch, I just do not like Angela and Tasha. I mean, at least Tasha accepts she's a gangster, right? But like, Angela, alright, the last few episodes, she's like, I've been getting so dirty, Jamie. I want to be a good cop. Then how about you admit everything? If you want to be a good cop or stop doing bad shit, you can't have it both ways, Angela. You know? But the rest of the police, they're sniffing around Angela, and I think sooner rather than later it's going to come to an end. Dre is brought up to speed by his troops that Kanan was actually the one that killed Diego Jimenez, and then they're like, why the fuck didn't you kill Kanan? It's like, you didn't tell us, you tell us to kill Ghost, which is a very valid point, isn't it? Nonetheless, and Cristobal very soon is going to be getting a wee promotion, isn't he? So yeah, Ghost and Tommy do a bit more meeting, Proctor and Sack sit down, discuss things with each other. Essentially what they want Proctor to wear here is a wire in a conversation with James St. Patrick. How in the hell is that going to go down, troops? I'm not too sure. Throughout this episode, we've got Kanan showing Tyreek the ropes about drug dealing. He's like, you can never be caught with the money and the drugs in the same spot, or else that's you right. That's your rights out the window, big man. And as this episode went on, I just didn't think Kanan was going to die at the end of it. And sorry for the spoiler, but I mean, everyone watching this probably watched the show already. But, like, part of me loved the death, but I just didn't want him to die. Especially the way he went out, like, at the hands of Tyreek and Tasha. I felt like they'd done him dirty, man, to be perfectly honest, but it is what it is at the end of the day. But the club, Dre's loving life, Cristobal's loving life, we've got all this other crazy shit going on. Kanan then meets with Vincent, and Tyreek's there. And the reason why I brought Tyreek, because he knows Italian. And he's like, he wants to know if you can trust him, but in the Italian voice. So, yeah, Kenny making a deal with Vincent here. Ghost and Tommy see Dre leave. Ghost and Tommy flip-flop between what they actually want to do. Then Tash and Angela drop it on on Tyreek that, right, we want you to job out Kanan. And Tyreek does not want anything to do with this because he's like the one guy in this show that legit cares about Kanan. I mean, I think Tommy does from a respect point of view, but that's probably about it. We also have dinner at Tommy's between him, Bonnie, Teresi, and Lakeisha. That goes alright. I mean, it's not filler like. I mean, it's introducing his family. I was going to say his girlfriend, but is Lakeisha's girlfriend, I guess, at this point. We're almost getting serious. Matt gets offered the job as well. Ghost ain't very happy, though, that Tasha has fucking done this and started to frame the big man, Kanan. Obviously Ghost, because he wanted Dre to go down. And I'm sorry, right? I don't understand why they wouldn't I mean, obviously Tasha's got more of a problem with Kanan. Maybe she really fused that the real reason why Raina dies because he got involved with Tyreek Kanan, right? But even if they wanted to spin it in a way of, well, we thought Dre would rat, they didn't bank on Kanan going AWOL at the end, so I'll touch on that a bit later. Lakeisha gets her court date brought up by some guy. It was a really weird thing. Now she's gonna have to testify. Tommy's like, it's alright, man. It is okay. Ghost and Tariq have a scene, but nothing really serious go down. Kanan and Tommy share another scene. And Kennan's like, it's alright, I'll go. And Tommy's like, you gotta stop ordering people to leave the room, Ghost. Absolutely, it's like his entire gimmick these days. But now, Kennan's got the weight, he's got the money, he's loving life. Ghost gets an update for Tate, not much happening here. Kennan helps Tyreek get his money back after some kid didn't pay him enough. So, yeah, there's that. There is that. Oh, oh, oh. And then we've got Tasha lying a bit more to Lakesha, like, oh, yo, this didn't happen. You're filming a different guy. And she's like, I didn't want to lie like this. I didn't want to lie like this. It's one thing telling them that somebody was in the apartment, but flat out lying to the cops. I can't do it on the stand on a stack of Bibles, man. I can't do that. I can't do that. Dre and Ghost meet up. They're like, I guess we're both not men of our word. You didn't kill Jimenez, it was Kanan, and you didn't even drop Peter. So what the hell are we doing here? It's like, we'll get that done, don't worry. Right, and then may as well. Benny also gives Proctor the leverage. It's been sitting on the laptop. Why is this Benny guy got it? Last time we seen it, Proctor put it in like not a safe, but one of those like public locker things. So what's going on here? And then Kanan gets pulled over by the cops. The gun that killed Ray Ray's there, of course. It's Tasha's gun. The police are asking Tyreek, do you know this man? He's like, doesn't really answer it. And like, are you threatened by this man? And then they're like, right, step out of the car. And Kanan quickly realizes the holy fuck we've been set up. It's finally when they ask Tyreek, has this man got you against your will? He's like, yes. At this point, Kanan's like, put the cuffs on me, Luce. It's been a minute since I've had cuffs on me. And then Kanan goes absolute ape shit. He drops 4 NYPD officers. This is such a badass scene. Also, while this is going on, you've got Ghost saying, like, confronting Tasha about this. He's like, you do realise that Tyreek's with Kanan? And Tasha's like, yeah, I know, but they're just going to arrest Kanan. He's like, do you really think Kanan's going to go down that easily? And then as soon as that happens, Kanan drops 2 police officers. The woman police officer shoots back at him. Kanan gets hit, like, I believe twice in the arm. But he manages to headshot her, akimbo style. Then her partner whips out a gun, shoots Kanan in the stomach. Kanan then whips out his guns again, shoots him, kills him. He shares like one final look at Tariq. It was like a look of betrayal. He gets in the police car, and then he starts coughing up blood. Obviously, he's been shot that many times, especially in the stomach region. Like once you get hit there, it's kind of good night. And then he passes out and dies. And then we get the ending montage. Angela looking smug. I wanted to jump through the screen and punch her fucking lights out. Well, Angela, episode 9 doesn't end well for you, you stupid whore cunt. Anyway, yep, I'm not happy with Angela. Tyreek crying, and you know what? Tariq is one of the few guys that care about Kaden, but I guess he realised that he can't go against his mum and dad, which I think's fair enough. It would have been a big move to go against them, right? But no, my problem with this is they've fucking jobbed out Kanan for Dre, and why? Like, why? Do they think Kanan wouldn't have rat it? Are they completely banking on Kanan to going on a rampage, I guess? But this is bullshit, because Tasha explained the Ghost that no, Kanan will just go back to jail. And let's be real, right? Let's say Kanan got arrested here, didn't fight back. Kanan would have been absolutely within his rights to rat on them. Absolutely. I'm sorry, he got jobbed out here. It was a badass death, taking out 4 police officers and getting shot. I mean, what could you say? It was about a week he got shot in the stomach, but I mean, it's the real fucking world. I mean, what do we want? People to survive 20 million fucking gunshots? Yeah, and then he dies, and then we get the ending scene with Tommy and Ghost at the morgue, and Tommy's like, you've got to stop killing people, man. Tommy thinks he's got something to do with it. It's like, I had nothing to do with this. Tommy. And then forensic guy goes in, he unlifts it. We see Kanan one last time looking very dead. Tommy's like, rest in peace, you tough motherfucker. And honestly, it was like a really like sad scene. It gave me almost like goosebumps, Tommy saying that line, and like it's like we've like lost like a proper OG character in this show. Like probably the baddest motherfucker in this show. At least one of. Probably in TV history. Like, I mean, I've watched a lot of TV shows, but Kanan is one of those motherfuckers you'd want in the trenches with you. And yeah, end of an era. He's dead. Do I agree with the way he went out? No. But was the scene good? Yes. it came out of nowhere. Like, fucking, you didn't, like, it wasn't like this Tariq turn was. I mean, Tariq literally denied he was ever going to do it, and then I guess that made for more of a twist. But yeah, I really enjoyed this episode, guys. I'm gonna give it a 9 out of 10. It's almost a 10, but I just don't like the fact that Tasha thinks she's fucking brilliant, and so does Angela. Her walking smugly while looking at that NYPD woman. Fucking Angela, if you don't die in this show, I will be fucking fuming.
There's a snitch among us. Welcome back, guys, to the penultimate episode of Season 5 of Par. We've got episode 9 here. We kick off the episode. News report about Kanan Stark. Of course, Kanan's dead. I've been looking forward to reviewing this episode. Like I said at episode 8, there's a lot of talking points because there's deaths as we enter like the final, couple of episodes of Par. I mean, I know we do have a full season to go after this, but you get what I'm saying. Towards the end of shows, deaths happen a lot. But what I just didn't really get here was, like, so you've got Ghost arguing with Tasha, but why the fuck would you have Kanan killed and not Dre? Why'd you go purposely behind my back? And I actually feel sorry for Kanan. I do. And, like, Tommy's here, but he's not really getting his opinion across. Tasha slaps Ghost. Ghost essentially says, like, you try to get another one of our children killed? And that's why she's like, and Tommy's like, you earned that, right? And then Ghost and Tommy leave, and Tariq kind of looks at him, he's like, I'm the one that cared about Kanan. Right. Tommy does not seem bothered in the slightest. Like, last episode, he was fully like, is that another one of our friends you killed, Ghost? And this episode just doesn't seem to care. I don't know what it is. Like, should Tommy not be worried? Like, I get it, right? Obviously, Tommy is, like, a part of the family. Kanan and Tasha hate each other. I mean, fucking Ghost and Tasha set Kanan up. But Kanan and Tommy go way back, and it's almost like the beef between Ghost and, Kanan was squashed, so to speak. Almost. I just think Ghost was so much more bothered than Tommy about this. And Tommy, I just don't understand, like, why Tommy's not more annoyed, personally. Like, he's almost treating it like a joke situation. And I don't understand that. I think this should have caused a massive rift between him and Tasha. The fact that they just went and killed fucking Kanan. But they don't. And I just don't really understand it, to be honest. I was expecting a bit more of a reaction for Tommy. It was treated like who ate the last bit of bacon rather than why the fuck did you kill Kanan Stark sort of deal. Anyway, that's just my personal opinion, to be honest. Tariq's going back to his school though. Ghost takes him back to the train station, but Tariq never leaves the train. He does leave the train station. He never leaves on a fucking train though, that's for sure. Meanwhile, the rope is coming round Angela's neck. Everyone is suspicious of her. How is this going to go down? Ghost then confronts Jamie. Ghost confronts Angela and he's like, how the fuck could you go behind my back and set up Kanan? And she's like, it was the best move. And then she's like, I don't feel like a cop anymore, Jamie. I just do not rate Angela anymore. I think she's completely like lost like the good moral compass sort of gimmick. Teresi then opens his doors to Sax and Mac, and they're demanding a wee bit more information. They need it, and they need it by the end of the day. Like Aisha and Tommy are talking. She's like, you've never killed anyone before, have you, Tommy? He doesn't really answer it, and it's like, hold on here. Does she truly believe that? Even though like his answer is like, yep, I've killed loads of people sort of deal, even though he just took a drink of his water. But you can clearly kind of tell. Dre is demoted to number 2. Cristobal, he's now number 1. So now we've got the FBI and Angela and etc. They're all like, oh, Diego's head ended up in Dre's business. How is that going to go down here? Who knows what's going to happen? Absolutely chaotic. Sammy, Teresi, and Tommy in his apartment, and Sammy's kind of freaking out at Teresi, and Tommy's like, whoa. Because apparently shit's hit the fan. There's a snitch among us. And, Sammy obviously suspects Tommy, but he obviously knows that Teresi says he's going to fucking kill or job out Tommy. So how's that going to go? Sax and Mac, they go to Proctor, get him to wear a wire. He'll confront the main man later. Ghost and Tate have a bit of a catch-up. Nothing really happens here. Angela then visits Stray and essentially tells him to give up the cartel. Give up the Jimenez cartel, because you've been jobbed out, big man, and it needs to happen. Needs to happen now. Ghost then visits Tommy and he's in like a wee business meeting with Teresi because the Serbs are here, damn it. And Ghost is like, we shouldn't really be involving Teresi in any of this. And then Teresi just leaves anyway and Ghost talks with Tommy. But you can clearly see that the trust here is out the window between Tommy and Ghost. And but no, my problem. Why is right? He just said the proof was in the pudding earlier this episode, right? Where it's clear, like Ghost is fucking fuming at Tasha for killing Kanan, and it's almost like that's why, like Tommy's taking out all his anger on Ghost. I don't get it. Like here over Kanan, and you know what? R.I.P. Kanan. I think he got killed off far too early. I think it was a waste of a character, even though I thought the death scene was pretty badass, wiping out all the police. But I just don't get it in the slightest. Teresi and Sammy then joking. Teresi's like, I'm going to bring that Tommy motherfucker down. He's like, oh, for a few seconds there, Teresi, I thought you weren't going to do that. Cristobal, though, tells Dre how things aren't going to change between them, even though he's now number one, and he goes to visit the remaining Jimenez hermano. Tariq then visits Vincent, and it's like he starts speaking Italian to him, and now it looks like he's going to move the weight, and he's like, how old are you, kid? He's like, old enough to move weight. Dre then snitches on the cartel, and I can't even remember what the woman's name in the cartel is, but yeah, the police arrive. Angela, they're all arrested. Good night. Angela gets a massive bust, but then she sees Sax and Mac leave, and she's like, something crazy is going down here. She then finds out that Teresi is the snitch. Then confronts Mac about it. He finally reveals it. Then we've got Sax and Mac phoning Teresi, and Teresi's like, yeah, I'll get your information there, buddy. He's like, but nah. It's not Tommy Egan, it's all about Ghost. Sammy overhears this. He's like, what the fuck? I thought you were going to give up. Tommy, he's like, no, I can't do that. Then Tommy appears, and obviously fearing that Sammy's going to give up the fact that Teresi is snitching, he stabs Sammy. Teresi kills Sammy. So a pretty big cat. Well, I mean, a decent sized character death. Not like he's the fucking Rock or anything. Angela then gives Ghost the proof that Teresi is the rat. Then Ghost tells Vincent who's the rat, and then Vincent tells Tommy, and Tommy finds out that his daddy was a rat this entire time, and he feels so betrayed. And I feel like this was almost rushed. I get it, right? When someone's a rat, it's a time-sensitive like issue. But like Angela found out, and within like 3 minutes, Tommy's found out. Even though Angela found out, confronted Mac, then told Ghost. Ghost then went to Vincent, and then Vincent sat down with Tommy, and all this happened within like 3 minutes. Proctor sits down with Ghost. Ghost is like, why the fuck are you so nervous? And Proctor's like, I'm not nervous. Then he writes down on a napkin that I'm wearing a wire, so Ghost doesn't incriminate himself or Angela. And then he confronts Proctor after. He's like, you've got to give up Angela, Ghost, or else she's going to give you up. That's for fucking sure, buddy. I'm wearing the motherfucking wire, damn it. So yeah, that was quite intriguing. Then we get like the really sad part of this episode where, you know, Tariq picks up like Kaden Stark's like last, items, so to speak. His cremation date was the 1st of December. He died on the 30th of November, which was actually not too long ago. Then Tommy knows about Teresi. It's quite sad. He confronts him about it. Teresi doesn't really fight it. He visits Bonnie one last time. He hugs her, he kisses her. He's like, he winks at her. He's like, I'll see you tomorrow. Beautiful. You're the only thing I ever did right in my life. And I've wrote a life full of wrong. Sad scene. I didn't really know what was going to happen, but knowing Tommy, I was like, he's probably just going to kill him. Teresi gets home, he's packing a bag. Teresi's, he's bleeding his heart out to Tommy here. He's like, yeah, you were the only other thing I did right as well. He's like, I love you, son. Past few months or weeks or however long it's been fantastic. He then opens his duffel bag, there's loads of cash in it, there's a gun. I don't even think he thinks about shooting Tommy. Maybe he does, right? But I don't think he ever he looked at the gun, he's like, that life's behind me, nice sort of thing. I'm on the run. When my son let me go, Tommy then drops him and leaves him at the Teresi headstone. So he kills his father. Really, really sad scene. He then drives home, visits his mum, and then lies on her. She's like, oh, I told you about Teresi. I told you. I still like his mum, man. And then, to end the episode, Angela arrives in, and they're like, Angela Valdez, you're fucked. Teresi's dead, and she's like, well, shouldn't you be more worried about one of your informants? She's like, nope, the only reason he's dead is because you told Ghost, Tommy, etc., and that's the only reason he's dead. So Angela's fucked here, and I'm so happy about it. Angela looks fucked, and then what Proctor said about Angela is coming true, is that Ghost is going to have to give Angela up, but now, is she going to give Ghost up? Probably. She knows so much, And is she going to get immunity? I think it would be a joke if Angela got immunity, to be honest. But yeah, guys, a lot of bodies hit the floor. Looking forward to episode 10. I haven't watched it yet, so looking forward to that big finale. And then, yeah, season 6. And then we've got three spin offs. So I'm looking forward to the spin offs because the spin offs are actually taking place in real life. Obviously, a few seasons have took place of each of them, I believe. But, you know, at least I can make fairy fids with this. I don't really want to make fairy fids about a show I don't know too much about. I do fairy fids on like Sopranos and Sons because and other like Walking Dead because I know I don't want to actually spoil things as well because obviously people could comment spoilers and shit. Like I can't make a spoiler about like, well, Angela turned rat here because obviously it's already happened, so you understand where I come from. I'm going to give this episode an 8 out of 10. I do think the Tracy rap reveal to Tommy was a wee bit rushed, and his reaction to Kenan was a bit fucking baffling here at the start. But anyway, till next time, give this episode an 8 out of 10.
When it is all over. Welcome back, guys, to our Season 5 finale. We don't need Bruce Buffer. We don't need him to announce when it's over. We've got Tommy Egan standing on a stairwell with a gun pointed down towards Angela and Ghost. And that was a pretty good ending. But before we get there, we have to go through the episode, don't we? Don't we? Tommy is reeling. He's snorting. And essentially we get like an interrogation here on Angela, but she's not giving anything up. And she's got 24 hours to agree to a deal or not. And a lawyer suggests that she should take it. I have to speak to my family. Then John Silver returns and he's like, you should give up your husband, Tasha. Then Lakeisha visits Tommy. He basically tells her to get the fuck out of the apartment and she starts crying. And it's like, well, okay. She saw that side of Tommy. Not good. Ghost then picks up Tommy. Tommy is not really saying anything. They get to their old high school. It's like abandoned now, I believe. And we've got Angela and Tasha meeting with Ghost and Tommy there. And Angela reveals everything that she is now being implicated or whatever in a RICO case. So they write everything on the board. And as this is going down, we get like a montage about them writing it on the board. And then the FBI, like Sachs, Mac, and co. So I like this. And it did make for an interesting turn of events. The fact that they're helping Angela get out of a case when like this entire show has been the other way about. It really is that way. Then we seen bloody Tasha pass a note to Tommy that says on it, we should kill this bitch. And it's like, damn, that's some serious shit. And you know what? I think at this point, there's not much there's not much love going between Tommy and Angela. At this point, it's done and dusted, man, isn't it? Like, Angela has to go. Like, why would these three... I mean, the only reason she's being kept alive is because of Ghost. The other two don't really give a fuck, if we're being honest. That's the way it should be. But it looks like John Silver's joined the FBI. And they kept saying this episode, when this is over. Then Trey, he's making love to his baby mama, so to speak. And then what happens? The cartel, the Jimenez cartel pay a visit. And I think they're honestly overbooking Dre. At this point, I thought they were overbooking Dre, sorry. And then by the end of this episode, I definitely thought they were overbooking Dre. But he manages to overpower them and like while naked with his big, well, so say his big cock. I didn't say his fucking big cock, did he? I don't know. The guy's probably got a maggot cock, damn it. He manages to fend them off and kill them. And he's like, right, you go sit with your mom, I'll get the witness protection deal. Sort of. Mac then threatens Tate. Businessman Tate. Not much really comes for this. Tasha then confronts Lakeisha because we all have to keep our allies close, but it seems like every time they do this, it's going tits up. Lakeisha essentially blows up. It's like, fuck it. I don't give a fuck about you, Tasha, anymore. You don't care about me. You know what? I think we're on to something there. Angela meets with Dre. Dre's like, I need out the country now. I need this deal to happen. She's like, alright, I'll get this deal to happen. Man. This deal will happen. Then we get Silver showing up at Tasha's door. And then we see later in the episode, the bang in a parking lot, which Ghost sees them. Will Ghost do anything though? We'll have to wait and see. Saxon talks to Lakeisha, tries to get her to flip, but she's not really flipping. But no, I don't get right. So is Angela just using the last bit of power that she's got left by making this deal? Honestly, it's a bit fucking ridiculous at this point. Ghost says, no, we're not turning on Angela Proctor because guess what, son? It's not happening.
And he's like, "You want a fucking wire again?" And Proctor has to like whip out his belly button just to prove it. Paz tells Angela to make the deal. It's not just about you this time. It's about all the family. It's about all the family. She returns home. Ghost and her share a kiss. Is it going to go tits up, this relationship? It potentially could. Then we get like the opening of the Queen's Child Project with Raina. Finally, man. How long was it going to take for this to actually get done? And then we see the witness from the pilot episode of this show. She's back again. Honestly, when did we see her? Was it like season 4 finale? Well, she's been doing this in fucking entire time, man. Honestly, I don't get it. Kesha says I'm not going to rat Tommy. And honestly, I thought for a split second Tommy might have killed her. He was thinking about it, but then he didn't. So yeah, how's that going to go? Tommy then meets with the jobber guy. I have no idea what this guy's fucking name is in the slightest. I know it's the guy that Kanan trusted. And essentially, Dre tells him the plan, and then this guy goes to tell Tommy. Tommy then finds out that Ghost made the deal with Dre behind everyone's fucking back. So Tommy and the crew are going to wipe out Dre. Or is that going to be according to the plan? Because Dre has to meet with Angela. But then as Dre is going to meet with Angela, he gets ambushed by like 20 guys. And when I say 20 guys, I don't even think I'm over exaggerating here, because he dropped a good amount of them, man. And you've got Tommy, you've got Chris. No, I don't think it was Cristobal. He's arrested, sure. The other guy from Saw 2, and you've got Specs. You've got, so many guys. Dre drops so many of them. He gets shot. He's surrounded. Tommy's spraying at him, and then he jumps through like this glass window. And then this van pulls up. I'm like, holy shit, he's saved. He's saved. And then who is it? Who is it that's saving his life? It is Mike. Not even Mike. Yeah, it's like the guy that's in between Mexico and Cali, the one that Angela's got to deal with here. So yeah, he gets shot in the leg, quite brutal, and then he signs the contract. Tommy had the chance to kill him, and I'm thinking, why hasn't Tommy killed this guy? But obviously, it's a part of their plan to get Dre to testify that it was the Jimenez cartel, Diego and co, that made the deal and killed all these people. He jumps in, signs the deal, good night. And at this point, it's like, are these fuckers really going to get away with this? Again? To me, it was borderline getting fucking ridiculous at this point. And then Mac essentially gives up. He's like, well, fuck it. They're getting off with it. I'm away to take that job that Angela offered me. It's still on the table. Sack's not happy with him. He goes then to Tommy. He plays Teresi on the tape. Of course, Teresi on that wire said he didn't want to hurt Tommy. It was all about getting Ghost. Sachs basically plants the seed in Tommy's ear that the reason why Teresi is killed is because Angela and Ghost conspired to have him killed by make it look like he was going to rat on you, but he was never going to do that. He was going to rat on Ghost. But should this really change anything? Like, obviously, yes, Tommy thought he ratted on him and didn't believe him at the end. But at the end of the day, like, you're supposed to believe that Ghost and Tommy are these fucking blood brothers. And I think Tommy, of all the times he could have killed Angela, or try to kill Ghost or whatever, I don't think this was the time to do it. I think killing Teresi for ratting, if you truly are a part of the family with Ghost and co, then you should be. I get it, it's his dad and they kind of lied, but he was still a rat. He was still going to rat out on Ghost. So yeah, I don't think Tommy, I'm glad to see what happens next, but we have Tasha and Tommy confront Angela in her apartment. I'm thinking, yes, finally we're getting a big, major character death here. But then she's like, you can't kill me. I took those pictures on my desk, and if you kill me, that's exactly what Sax wanted. They'll know it was you, blah, 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 sort of pish. He spares her after Tasha kills her off. He then goes to meet Vincent. Vincent then tells him about how it was Ghost that gave him the pictures. He's like, I've got one more thing to do, officer. And then Proctor tells Ghost that a woman came forward, a witness. It has to be Angela. He then goes to visit Angela, and then he's confronting her. They're like, I remember this school. He's like, the trust ain't really there anymore because he thinks she's did that, and then she thinks he's did this, and then they hug, they kiss, they look up. Oh, fuck. What? Ghost killed Silver? He choked him out. I don't think Silver's dead. He might be dead. Does it really matter? Probably not. So they don't trust each other, but then they share a kiss. So they trust each other again. Angela looks up. Tommy appears in the stairwell. I'm assuming this bullet was meant for Ghost, right? And then Angela pulls Ghost out the way, hits her right in the chest, blood everywhere on her white turtleneck sweater. As Ghost screams and looks at this is the most fucking passion I've seen for this guy. And this is what I kind of expected to see from Raina dying. I get it, right? Angela's literally just died here in his arms, but maybe show us for your daughter, big man. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know if Angela's dead. She might still be alive, but that's how the season ends. So is season 6 going to be an all-out war between Tommy and Ghost because they can't really go to the police about it. Ghost can't. And Tommy, what's going to happen there? And is Angela dead? I'm going to assume she's dead, right? Because she was shot right in the chest. There was a lot of blood. The only problem is I know a bit about the spin-offs, and I say I know a bit. I know Tommy's in the Power Book 4 one, so obviously he can't go to jail or get killed by Ghost. I'm going to assume. So I'm going to assume Tommy survives this show. I don't want any spoilers, troops. Right? No spoilers. But for this episode, again, like, it had the potential to be like a near enough perfect season finale. But I think there was so much plot armor and like I'm just sick of these wee side deals that our main characters are getting into just to get out. Like, oh, this guy testified. I don't mind when TV shows do that the odd time, but this show seems to do it like every couple of episodes. And I thought that the Dre scene was badass, him holding these guys off, but I mean, come on, we bit unrealistic troops. But anyway, guys, I'm going to give this episode of Par a 9 out of 10. It was almost a 10 for me. I'm going to get a 9.